Morning, fellow zombies. Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? It's 1:18 in the morning West Coast time on the 30th, actually the 31st of August, 2024. The zombie Weaver Agency of Roseman, California. Not alive, not awake, and still dealing with the bug war. Okay, sorry I haven't been online for a time. Trying to stay away from all the political crap happening these days, and it's driving me crazy. Trump screwing things up again and put himself in the headlines once more. Something about trying to be a political pawn, or actually a political figure, at a Arlington National Cemetery. He was asked by a family, so he could be there. Family's going to get blowback on this one. They contacted the former president of the United States. They joined him in the laying of a wreath regarding the families. It's nice, but every time you're going to be doing the vice president ring up here, keep in mind that you're going to be inviting a public press tour, which made the laws of dealing with public parks, including memorials, you're breaking federal laws that they've already established back in the 20th century on this one. The Hatch Act, yeah. Well, apparently they didn't care about it. They brushed off brusquely of an employee over there who's now scared of blowback herself. But people are still talking about it, including the veterans group. You don't disrespect the people. You don't disrespect the cemetery. You don't disrespect Arlington. You don't make it into a political. You don't put it into a political ad. He did, and so did the family. So now they're stuck with it. I did some nasty videos about this when I pulled them off. Wasn't about to. Really wasn't going to get into it just yet. What I would get into is something I found that I caught up as an innocent posting, but then again, I took a look at it to see what was going on. And I'm not quite sure if this guy's got a leg to stand on or not, but he's going to need to get a good lawyer for this one who can bone up on the laws of public transportation and mobility scooters. Mobility aids, they would call them, according to one of the pieces of legislation that passed last year, or actually earlier this year, made effective July 1st. There's a gentleman out in, where was that again? Woodstock? No, back off on that one. Woonsocket, Rhode Island. He's getting some national attention on this one. Got an $8,000 modified scooter, one person compartment. He needs it for transportation. He's got multiple medical situations that who cannot put him into a car, but the scooter is just fine for him. Out in Rhode Island, the town of Woonsocket seems to have a thing about mobility scooters on the road because they are not DMV regulated. There's no permit signs, no license plates, and they're threatening this guy with fines and potential more harm. So he's going to court over this. From what the DMV had told this guy, because of the speed limit his vehicle is subject to, it's not worthy enough to get a permit or even a license for it. So he took them at their word. Probably took it verbally. You should have been taking it in written, having a written word, because that would have been putting him on the spot on that one. But the city of Woonsocket said, no, that's not right. Because according to DMV regulations, what we have here, your vehicle cannot be on the public streets. Well, it's too damn big for the public sidewalks. And he's sure as hell ain't going to drive this damn thing on a sidewalk. If we're talking about mobility scooter, that's one thing. This is representing of a motorized vehicle in itself. Canopy enclosed, windows, shields him uh, from the rain or outside conditions. Now he can't drive the damn thing on the roads. So, story was picked up by the local press, picked up on the national, I guess. And now this guy's under, and so is Winsock, under publicity. I've been trying to dig into this. They said somewhere on the manufacturer, which I didn't see where the name of the manufacturer was, about the model of the damn thing. Yeah, that I did get. I get over to the history. And alrighty, so we're talking about. I'm trying to get back under the 12. There we go. If I can just get the name of the thing, I'll be fine on this one. Q Runner Mobility Scooter. It's a nice little hatchet job for $8,000. If I can afford it. I wouldn't need a driver's license for the thing. I'd just be able to drive it with a handheld. See, in the scooters that they don't have foot pedals. In regular motorized vehicles, and probably even electric vehicles, you have stop, you have go. But what happens if you don't have any foot or feet to do it? Well, maybe you got diabetic neuropathy, and your feet you're having a hard time walking with. Your brain is sending signals to the muscles. The muscles are moving the feet, but sometimes you can't feel what's in front of you, which means you couldn't feel the pressure of an accelerator or brake, but the hands possibly. He says he's had some multiple medical issues that prevents him from driving a regular car or maybe putting himself into an electric scooter, but this is a fanciful scooter with an enclosed canopy. Now, there are certain laws and rules and regulations out there. I'm discovering more and more that allow or not allow mobility. I checked on one particular internet site, mobilitynest.com, and checking out the pages for the mobility scooter laws for every state. Rhode Island is the one I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about touching California just yet on that one. That'll be another video for that. Okay, for Rhode Island, according to what the thing is saying, mobility scooters are classified as a mobility aid, which holds considerable importance for users in terms of accessibility and legality. As such, they are allowed on sidewalks, pedestrian walkways, and other designated use for pedestrian or by pedestrians. This allowed the mobility scooter users greater freedom and independence in accessing public spaces and moving around neighborhoods. However, the Rhode Island's laws ensure that individuals using mobility scooters are granted equal rights and are not subject to discrimination or limitations as they navigate their surroundings. It is important for scooter users to be aware of the rules and regulations that exist to protect their rights and ensure a smooth and safe experience. But in this situation here, the gentleman is going to be using his scooter on public road. Not state, just getting to and from shopping. It's like using a golf cart. From what the DMV of Rhode Island had said about that, if I could just get into that, they would call them low-speed vehicles. Now, effective July 1st, 2024, and I'm reading this off of the DMV Rhode Island, dmv.ri.gov, regarding registration plates, titles, / registration / low-speed vehicle, LSV. So, in accordance with the Rhode Island General Legislature 31-19.6-1, and there is such a thing, it's a PDF on that one. Low-speed vehicles are defined in it may be registered for usage on public roads with posted speed limits up to 35 miles per hour. These vehicles are to be registered, insured, and inspected in accordance with the Rhode Island laws and regulations established for motor vehicles. A municipality may, by ordinance, prohibit the operation of low-speed vehicles on a laned roadway or local highway or portion of the highway within its jurisdiction and under its control. It is highly recommended that you check with your local city or town before purchasing a low-speed vehicle. And what qualifies as a low-speed vehicle, according to them, is an exclusively powered electric vehicle, issued a certificate of origin, not oranges, but origin, has a gross weight rating of less than 3,000 pounds, top speed greater than 20, but not greater than 25, and National Highway Traffic Safety Administration certified to the standards established and rules and regulations on that same. Certificate of origin, title, or out-of-state registration listed to the body style or body type as LSV or low-speed vehicle. Manufacturer certification label posted on the vehicle containing the VIN number and indicating the type of vehicle as a low-speed vehicle. Important: golf carts are not manufactured to low-speed vehicle standards and therefore may not be registered as low-speed vehicles. So they've got other things in their local DMV to talk about this and how to register. As for mobility scooters, I hadn't seen anything like those. I've seen golf carts. I've seen one-man jobs, but they also had to be registered and licensed. I think this gentleman's going to have a hard time in court. True, he's got medical necessity. He's got medical needs for it. But if they're going to be deeming that his particular vehicle, which says does not go above 15, I have been trying to research what type of vehicle this is. I don't even know where he got it from. There are several manufacturers out there that produces this monster, even to put them on eBay. So I don't know which particular dealership he went to. They didn't even mention which dealership he went to. He just mentions the dealership, but not the name. It would have been nice because then I could find out whether or not they've actually got a warning on their sites. You got about 20 or 30 of them on there. I know because I've tried a couple of places that have actually had just the general manufacturing of the monster, but I'd like to know what the specific is. But there's a lot of dealerships out there that deal with states that have rules and regulations of ordinances out there that allow what you can and can't drive on the roads. And speaking of that, Rhode Island is very difficult to research regarding their ordinances. No matter how many times I keep trying to put in there for mobility aid, mobility scooter, they get nothing on the board. And if they do have an ordinance file out there, it's not accessible to the public. I'm sorry. This guy's going to have a lawyer on this one. And they're going to have to argue the ADA on this one. But I'm not a lawyer. I'm not credentialed in anything. I'm only expressing my opinions at this point. But this guy's going to be in for it, or else the court's going to have to tell him that he's going to have to register. He's already got a court date coming up in September on this one. He wants to use the scooter. He does not want to feel like he's out $8,000. But yeah, concerning about the rules and regulations, nobody thinks about it. Nobody thinks about if there's going to be updated laws out there for anything that affects the disability out there. Speaking of which, I got my own dog minding at me. Hold on. Okay, you're probably going to be asking me, why am I pissed off about this one? I know I'm a sucker for a few things left and right. I should be working on my damn schoolwork, you know. But when it comes down for handicap situation, I get a little peeved because I am among them. I have been caregiver, and now I may be coming up on a situation where I'm going to be needing these things. But I have to understand that I don't have the money. There's no way I've got a financial thing going on where I can actually afford that level. It's bad enough I'm paying something else off. But to have that kind of a debt going on, it'd be bad enough if I happen to get at least a $2,000 or $3,000 scooter and I have to pay off that damn thing one way or another. Making low monthly payments until I'm paying about 10 years down the road. But I'm not in a situation of putting myself into a damn wheelchair just yet. But I have been. I have used scooters in the past. If I wasn't able to walk far enough, I'd borrow a scooter and then use it. I'm still able to walk far a bit, so I'll hump it with a backpack, with a roller, so I can roll it. I can use a basket, a four-wheel cheap-ass basket, $20 or $30 thing you get over online or at Walmart or places like that. Plop it up with a lot of stuff in it and just haul it. Difficult to sell sometimes, but once you get used to it, it's still difficult to sell. But still, I'm not stressing over that damn thing just yet. Here I am. Hear a bit of a squeak in the background. That's my dog. She's wondering where I am. It's too damn early in the morning for this, Mama. It's too damn early in the morning. Come here, stress case. Come here, stress case. This is the reasons why I stay home all the time. There are other places in this town that I live in, Roseman, that wondered where the hell I am. Well, I do 24/7 caregiving. I've been trying to caregive myself for a short time, but now it's her turn. She's a very needy senior dog. Well over 20, 21 years. Blind, but she can still partially see light and day. Day and night, actually. Any loud, sharp noises, maybe she'll be able to hear them, but for the rest of the part, she can't hear me talking to her like this. Crazy dog. But she's stressing out because I'm up this morning. Again. And she'll wake up in the middle of the night, around this time or earlier, and wonder if I'm up, and then whine at me because she wants me up. I don't get any sleep. You kidding me? I'm a zombie. I'm turning out to be a vampire without needing blood. No, I just get sleep during the daytime, and at nighttime, I'll be lucky if I get any. Come on, we gotta go back. Come on. All right. Now, I did mention something about the old gas bag 45, right? The guy who used to be president of the United States, screwed things up left and right. That guy. My town's in love with the schmuck. He's in love with Trumps because there are Trumplicans out here. And they still are patriotic to this guy. They're not patriotic to the country, they're patriotic to him. If they were patriotic to the country, I wouldn't be worrying as much, but then they kind of displace their patriotism for country, and Trump's thinking they're the same thing, and then Christian nationalists. And we've got those guys here too. We do. I see indications online for this stuff, so yeah, conversation's got to tell me one thing or another. If they're going to be believing in Christ and they're going to be believing in Trump, incompatible. Throw the Bible at them, they go ape over it. But would they support a president breaking law? They say there's no such thing. Well, they hadn't done their research, have they? I did. It's called the Hatch Act. Hatch Act. All right. I threw out the thing too many times. Probably going to be asking me, what the Sam Hill is the Hatch Act? Okay. Okay, this is under the, if I can get it over here, U.S. Office of Special Counsel. This is the overview of it. All right. It is a federal law passed in 1939, limits certain political activities of federal employees as well as some state, D.C., and local government employees who work in connection with federally funded programs. The law's purposes are to ensure that federal programs are administered in a nonpartisan fashion, to protect federal employees from political coercion in the workplace, and to ensure that federal employees are advanced based on merit and not based on political affiliation. When Trump came on the property of Arlington National Cemetery, not as president of the United States, but as citizen, and he was invited by a family, or two or three, onto the property to pay their respects to the fallen. It's been 3 years since Afghanistan had been evacuated by most of U.S. forces out there and support staff. And during the support staff, there had been a suicide bombing, which killed several soldiers. One of the families of the fallen was, that again. One of the families was going to be paying tribute because it was an anniversary. A wreath was going to be laid. Well, that's nice. Family could be doing that by a private ceremony, no problem. However, we're talking about a political figure over there looking for political clout. And his party had brushed away, probably brusquely or something, and then berated that person publicly. So that's why the media, both corporate and independent, are having conniption fits over this one. What's worse is the publicity shot that everybody did that's being passed around left and right for political cash. Is everyone's doing this is the way you pay tribute at a national cemetery. Breaking rules and regulations left and right. And they were told that there are rules and regulations you don't do. You don't go for the political cash. The family invited the damn president over. He invited the 45th orange gas bag onto property with a press corps. Did they not think of this thing? And the Corps didn't think. The Corps just said, "Screw it. We're going to be doing it. Hell with the Hatch Act. We're going to get the political cash on this one. This is gold for us." And now they're chewing it up, and they're still getting gold out of it. But the veterans groups are getting pissed off about this one because they desecrated something sacred. Not to mention getting other family members in the shot that weren't supposed to be in there. They didn't care. They didn't care. So they're getting their asses torn apart on this one. Good. And the family who decided to do this thing, they've just been part, and if they were willing to participants in the situation, they're also in violation of the Hatch Act. In my own opinion on this one. If they initiated this thing, they didn't view it, they didn't see, didn't research. They didn't care to research. They didn't know. Well, now you know. You were told. You came anyway. But this is what happens. So if they're going to be, they're not, I haven't heard any charges done yet. I haven't heard any charges filed. No arrests, no nothing. But this will be talked about, and they will be embarrassed. My dog is fussing. That being said, we'll try again with another videotape a little bit later. I'll post it a little bit later today.